What is going on? You are watching and listening to Tags Live, aka Talk About Gay Sex, the live edition, where we're here every Wednesday night on the Crowdcast platform. This is episode 727. I am your host, Steve V, alongside Cody Maurice Doggett. How the hell you doing, Cody?
Hello, darling. I'm doing wonderful this evening. So good to see you.
Thank you. It is my birthday week, and I celebrated on Monday, but we were celebrating last week. We've got a whole show based on that. But yeah, 55
Yes,
never
sir.
felt better. And
More alive. 65, so alive.
I think I like those 5 and 5 is 10, and I think in numerology that's like a good sign, so that's really good. But tonight we're going to be talking a little bit about that. If you, though, before we get into that, my birthday week celebration, happy birthday to me.
Yes.
We keep making the announcement that Cody Maurice has his brand new EP out called Thing of Beauty. It's wherever you get your music, and we are postponing our live. We want to get it right. And so we are going to do a live virtual listening party very soon where we'll be listening to the tracks. We'll be talking about the music, and that is coming up really soon. So stay tuned for that. We just had a little technical difficulties, but we're working on that. So yeah, exactly. But in the meantime, go ahead and download it. It's available wherever you get your music. It's Cody Maurice, Thing of Beauty, new EP out now, and just get it. It's so good, so great.
Thank you, boo.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, I love it, so I hope other people love it as well.
Oh, we love it. Yeah, we were at a private little listening party the other night, and I just loved hearing it on the playlist. That was so great. So yeah, absolutely. Well, let's get into tonight's talk, where we are. It really was sparked by my birthday, and we're calling this Aging Gay, What Actually Matters, from health to sex to connection and confidence, just to throw out my new app, Connection and Confidence. I think those were themes that were coming up late last year in 2025, how people really want to connect, want to meet solid relationships, whether it's dating or friendships. And tonight we're really just being honest and talking about aging as gay men, our fears, stereotypes, invisibility, and how growing older can actually bring clarity, confidence, and even better sex. All of those topics will be covered tonight. So let's just get started. Aging is kind of a privilege when you think about it, Cody, in our particular community. I mean, the fact that many of us didn't always imagine ourselves getting older, and that has to do with a lot of things. HIV was one of them. But today isn't about getting older. It's really about getting clearer, as I like to say. And hopefully you'll feel the same way after you hear us talk. Well, let's just get into it, because we were talking in our meeting, Cody, about part of our community can be youth obsessed within our gay culture. And when you shift things from a youth obsessed gay culture to things like validation and self-assurance, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, it just means that you start to think less frivolously, and that you don't hold youth, which is so fleeting because we all get older. Like, the point of life is to get older and make it to the next stage of life, and really focusing on what's important, which is, and what is more, in my opinion, valuable, because youth has its benefits, but ultimately those things are going to go away, and what you're going to have left is your knowledge. It's going to have your experience. It's going to have how you relate to other people. So I think that all of that is so valuable, and as we grow older, we have to put more emphasis on that.
Yeah, and for me, I think I was always so. When I was recently came upon some pictures that I had taken in my 20s when I lived in San Francisco, and boy, I wish I had the confidence that I have now, because I did not have confidence when I walked into a room, when I I was a go-go dancer, and I still didn't have the confidence that I have now. Now I look at those pictures and I'm like, you should have had the confidence because you look like amazing. I mean, I'm happy with the way I look and the way I'm aging and all of that good stuff. But it's funny when you don't realize how good you look at a certain period because you're so consumed with trying to fit in and all of those things that often, not for all of us, but for many of us, come with aging. And now I can walk into a room confidently. I can give a speech. We can do this show where we talk openly about our sex and relationships, honestly, and I don't really blink an eye with it anymore. It's just what we do. And I think it's just because of age, and I've just been out for so long that, and it was funny because when I was watching Heated Rivalry, they are younger in that series and dealing with a whole sports world that is hyper masculine. And I could relate to that back even on the gymnastic team. The same thing. Everybody thinks that gymnasts are totally out and gay, and they're not. I was feeling a lot of what they felt, but I was their age group back then. And I just think that it's now I'm so much more confident when I, like I said, go out, meet people. I can give a firm handshake. I can look into people's eyes. And it's just really refreshing, I think, when you embrace that wherever you are at with your age. Are you confident when you were out there in these streets? Now you have an EP out. You're meeting guys left and right.
No. I am meeting guys left and right, but still there's like a small piece of me that is wondering if they really find me attractive, am I that attractive? All of that I have less confidence in, like the attractiveness part of it. But you were talking about like confidence in your sexuality. That I have in spades. I can go out and just be myself completely. And I think that has really grown as I've gotten older. In my intelligence, I have complete confidence. I could talk to anybody about a myriad of things and
any topic.
Exactly. So I feel like for me, maybe I need to work more on that. I've focused a lot more on those other things and making sure that I was more confident in other areas, and I need to become more confident in my looks. I was just looking at, there's a 2016 challenge.
I hate these challenges.
Well, this one is it has a correlation to what we're talking about right now. And I was looking back at old pictures so I could just do this challenge about how I looked then versus now. And I don't look that different. Number one, we're going to just put that out there. I got some more gray hair. But I also was just thinking, looking at the pictures like, damn, this boy did not know how attractive he was back then.
Yeah.
And that's just really so sad. I think I'm doing better than I was back then, but I still have some ways to go. And that's okay. I'm growing every day.
That is definitely okay. And I mean, I think we feared about aging back in the day. And a lot of it, we were talking the other day on my birthday with our other co-host, Lincoln, about just our health. And many of the reasons we were so fearful was things like HIV. And I don't know if you dealt with it that much, but Lincoln and I were sharing that back in the day when it was a death sentence to get HIV tested, and he and I were sharing stories where your insurance, if you had it at the time, didn't cover things like STI or HIV testing. And the reason you wouldn't get tested for HIV back then was because if you were positive, it could then mean you could get dropped from your insurance. So many of us would go to the free clinics back in the day, and I remember going to those, or we would put it off and not tell our doctors about that particular test. And we lived in such fear. And I got to think that, first of all, we know that living in fear or anxiety ages us, right? And so for many of us, living in that could not have been a good thing. And I'm just so glad that now things like PrEP and your general practitioner, you can get tested for these things, or you can get things like Mr., where it's free if you don't have insurance. And we've taken that equation out of you. People are living with HIV. Before, like I said, I remember it was such a death sentence for that.
Yeah. I remember that part where if back in the day, it was so stigmatized because it was looked at as a death sentence. But when you told me that you couldn't even get tested because your insurance would drop you, my mind was blown. I could not believe that something like that would happen. In that time, in that day and time, especially when people were so in need of services and being treated and things of that nature. So yeah, I couldn't believe that. I'm glad that we've come such a long way.
Yeah.
But it's kind of scary that there might be a chance that we might go back. So we just all need to keep an eye on that, so to make sure that we don't tread back to those old ways, because
that's why I mentioned things like Mister, where you can still to this day get it without having insurance. You can get it for free. And I just think programs like that need to keep coming up. We are live. It is my birthday episode. Happy birthday to me. We are live with Malibu says, watching us live, says age is a number, life experiences, relationships, travel, books, and developing a joyful, positive outlook all make us stronger and confident. You all put a ton of emphasis on appearance, which is cool to a point. And I say our culture often does, and social media puts an emphasis on that. And that is just kind of reflective of culture and society in general. But aging gracefully, I think, is always good, and taking care of yourself. And our health, I think, becomes so much more important. I think on my birthday, I was talking about that with Lincoln, how at a certain point, I didn't really worry about my health back in the day too much, other than living in anxiety about getting the HIV test. I just felt like, oh, I'm breezing through. And he was saying that it's so important, if we can impart one set of wisdom today, is to get checked up regularly in your younger years, so that you set up a pathway to making normalizing it, and get your blood work checked, get your testosterone checked, and all those things. And then we've had Dr. Goldstein on the show, and you were sharing something at my birthday too.
I did, yeah. So getting older, I don't know if it's really getting older, but this is the first time I had to deal with anything like this. I had surgery not too long ago, and it was for a fistula. I didn't say anything back
explain to people, because I had a fistula and talked about it on the show, but it was a long time ago. But for those that don't know, it's a blockage, correct?
It's a blockage in your anal passage. It's in one of it makes a tunnel basically from your inside of your anal cavity to the outside of like one of your butt cheeks, I believe. And it formed an abscess.
Tunnel shouldn't be. So exactly. It ends up looking like what many people misdiagnose as an abscess.
Yes. I was misdiagnosed with an abscess. I was dealing with it for quite a while. The doctor was like, "You've been dealing with this for a long time," because apparently it was pretty big, and he did what he had to do. I'm healing right now.
It's pooling with like a fluid.
Yeah.
And on the outside,
I'm trying not to get too graphic, Steve.
Well, people understand, because I had it and it was misdiagnosed, and we want our listeners to know this kind of things. And that's why it's important to get checked with somebody like a proctologist that can look at this stuff. Even if you don't have that, he can look at that anal cavity and just see how you are doing. But go on. Yeah.
Yeah. So I went to the ER, and that's where I got diagnosed with it. My doctor didn't even really, he was giving me antibiotics, and then it ruptured, and he sent me to the ER immediately. And that's where the ER physician was like, "Oh, I've seen so many of these." And I think it's more about the doctor knowing exactly what it looks like, and having that experience and knowledge, because I don't think that my general practitioner had seen it ever. So I don't blame him. I do feel like I should have gotten a second opinion on that, because it did go on for quite some time. Like, it was more than 4 months. It was probably about 6 months that I had that abscess on my butt, and it didn't hurt, but it was not a pretty sight. So,
and it's bottoming. Not something that you want to go on for long and long. And that's why the importance, I mean, when we think about how far we've come with our health, and then you think about gay health, and we're a relatively young species, as I'll just call it for lack of a better term, in that we haven't really studied. I was just talking about a story to you and Lincoln the other day about in the 90s, they did a whole study, an MRI study, where they put a couple. Now, of course, the couple was heterosexual, and they did it so that they could actually look at a man and a woman and what's really going on during sex. And of course, as you know, an MRI can really get deep dive and look at all those things. It was this breakthrough study. It's recently become popular on TikTok again. But of course, like I said, it wasn't a gay couple. And when we talk about our gay health, things like a Dr. Goldstein, a proctologist that really knows that area that's specific to our gay health, is relatively new study. There aren't a lot of doctors out there that are looking at this stuff, and we're having particular types of sex that is amazing. And we now have drugs and things that can keep us from not getting STIs, preventing things like HIV, and keeping, if you are living with HIV, at bay. But we don't have enough doctors and enough conversations about what's really going on. And that's why I think it's so important to talk about these things that relate to our specific health, because it's a newer industry that needs further research. And hopefully we'll get that with the likes of doctors like Dr. Goldstein.
That's right. Shout out to
Dr. mentioned Goldstein. We are live. Doug says, as we're talking about on my birthday episode, Doug says, as I've gotten older, I've gotten more confident in myself. And now when I go out, I am just myself, because at this age, I don't care what others think of me. I do think that's one of like the things nobody tells you about, is that one of the benefit is hopefully you will not care what people think about you. You'll speak your mind a little bit more. And like in my case, I've been speaking my mind for years, but I've actually done a little bit of reverse where I've settled down. In other words, I don't need to be right like I used to have to be in my 30s and 40s, where I had to make a point and everybody had to, in my group, that they had to know that I had to be right. Now I've so much calmed down with that. And I think I can confidently listen to so many other opinions and give my confident opinion, but not with the goal of you will know that I am right. And I think that's really one of the beautiful things of getting older with that.
Yeah, just letting go of those insecurities about so many things, because I think that we as people, we build up different insecurities and ways of guarding ourselves, and just letting that go is probably letting any of those defense mechanisms go is something that really is so beautiful to me as I get older.
So when we talk about aging and we talk about our sexual health, we tapped in it a little bit with things like STIs, things that are out there, like, of course, PrEP, conversations without shame. But then we get into, say, mental health and things like loneliness, depression, body image can be a really big one. And then what you couldn't maybe do before that really can put emphasis on aging, like sleep, stress, alcohol, drugs, all of those things, your hormones. Are you getting tested on how is your testosterone levels? Your libido could change. And all those things, I feel aging isn't really about decline. It's kind of about maintenance, awareness, and so forth. What do you say to all that?
Well, I agree with you. I think that is part and parcel of, aging. You had to check up regularly on all the things, because they can go awry so quickly. So I agree with you. You have to check up on your testosterone. That's super important. My knees are they're not mega knees anymore. I can't get down low to the ground hardly anymore. It takes a little bit more, but definitely taking fish oil.
Help up.
And they're always willing to help me up, so good for them. Good on them. Thank you, boys.
Absolutely. Bryce, hi Bryce, says, do we fear, this is a good question actually, posing on this topic, do we fear aging, or is the anxiety rooted in not finding a life partner before we're culturally deemed past desirability? And the thing I would say to that is I got married at 54. So no, I think with confidence came my story that I've told on this show, where I was confidently and taking care of myself, feeling good about myself in other ways, that I went up to Diego and sparked a conversation. And he loves to tell the story that I told his friend. I said this, he will be my boyfriend. And be careful what you wish for, because not only boyfriend, but husband.
One step further. Jeez Louise.
And I don't know that I was really ready for that commitment so many years in my 30s and 40s. And I don't know that you need to also be, quote unquote, there's a perfect right time, because hopefully we're always growing. And hopefully with your partner, you find somebody that you can grow together with, grow with your own personal things, and they're working on their things as well. But then you're growing as a partnership too in sex. And we'll get more into sex in a second. But yeah, I mean, for me, I felt desirable because I think the confidence came in for me. But what do you think about, I mean, you're in a different phase now.
Yeah.
Your EP is, we don't want to give it all away, but it is about a past relationship.
It is, yeah.
You're out on these streets now.
Am I in the streets, honey? Am I a streetwalker? Jeez.
I mean, the Upper East Side of streets, but yeah.
Yeah, I am in a different place. I don't know that I'm really worried about finding a partner past even right now. Past what I'm desirable right now, I'm like not even looking for that right in this moment. But I did admit that earlier that I still have some issues with self-confidence as far as my looks are concerned. But self-image is a spectrum, and it's so many things wrapped up into one. And I definitely know with my whole heart that no matter what I look like, somebody's going to want to buy it. So I don't really believe in culturally deemed past desirability, because I could be 85 and some old man out there is going to want to boo me up. It does not matter. That is something that I believe with my entirety and my whole being, because so that may be true, but I don't agree with the whole, when I am ready to find a partner, I know that there will be somebody out there that is checking for me too.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting question, because I do think in some ways we're no different from our heterosexual counterparts in that, you know, are we waiting for some of us maybe that want kids? That could be a different story. Although I know people and even heteros that you can have them later in life. And I do think that in some ways we do mirror our heterosexual counterparts too, because there is a youth obsessed culture out there that does exist, and we don't want to act like that doesn't exist. What I would say to it is, for me personally, I've always tried to take care of myself. A lot of that has to do with health and getting checked up more on the inside. But then, of course, if anyone wants like what I do for my skin and all that, like I am all about taking care of my skin and making sure I love, I was a former athlete, and when you've been an athlete for years and years and years, I think that parlays into not doing what I did, gymnastics, but the gym and yoga and stretching. And so I do those things. I'm not what I was, but I still take care of myself. And then you combine that with confidence, you bring all that to the table. And so wherever you're at, you just have to kind of feel confident with yourself and feel good about yourself. And hopefully it's aligning with your own personal confidence. And if you bring that to the table, I think you will meet somebody, because you're going to be very attractive. And
do the work.
You're not perfect. It's a work in progress, I think, is what we really need to emphasize is, and that's always a question too. Oh, I'll meet somebody when I'm this. When I lose 10 pounds, then I'll start to look for somebody. No, you just go now. You can still have your goals, but not when I get that job that I think I think you should just start looking if you feel you are ready to date now.
There's always going to be something. As a human being, I always am going to be striving for more. So that whole when I'm this is a fallacy, and it's a way for you to isolate yourself from other people. So do it right now. Do it while you're scared. Do it while you're not who you want to be in the world, because you're complete and you're worthy of love right in this moment. That's my little.
That's it. I like that. Well, let's talk about sex, because I was reading something that does sex have, women often get better with age. Like I think the 40s can be like some quote unquote their peak years. I think with gay men, do we have peak years where we are, I think testosterone can be a thing. And that's why we always say on this show, get your testosterone checked. Not every doctor always puts that on the blood work when you get your physical, but get that checked, because that can really affect certain things and your desires. And then things like intimacy, touch, and emotion, how we feel emotionally, communication over perfection. And then things like our porn consumption and what we actually expect sex to look like. And I think we were talking a lot about it in 2025, and even with Lincoln and Jeremy, that we all want to be more connected in sex, whether it's we're looking for a partner, in your case, or just having fun, or
I don't have to look for partners for sex.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I got the roster, I got the Rolodex.
Or you're in. Jeremy, our co-host, said that he's looking at 2026 with being more connected, and they are connected, him and his partner, but that sexually, like trying new things. And Diego and I continue to want to try new things and have more connected sex, and it's been really intense recently, and that's really good. We've also played with other people at times, and that's been a lot of fun, and in places like the New York Eagle. And then we come home and have really hot sex together, and that's really fun as well. We did that, I think, on the day we were celebrating my birthday. Oh my gosh, I kept telling Diego, get this guy's Instagram, get this guy's Instagram. And we were making out with different guys and boyfriends of other guys, and it was a happy, fun mess. But we ultimately had that fun in the club, and then we went home and had really hot sex together. And it was just like, we were just reflecting on it the next day. We're like, do you remember talking to that guy? We had to remind each other. And then Diego says, why did you keep making me get everyone's Instagram? I'm like, I don't know, for future reference, so we remember these people. So but that's been working for us, and that's been fun. We're obviously not doing that all the time, but it did make for a fun birthday hoopla, if you will.
Perfect. For me, sex has only gotten better. I've gotten more explorative. I've gotten less afraid and more confident in who I am sexually. And also my libido, I feel like it's shot up in these past couple of years. I don't know if it's because I'm going to the gym more and testosterone is increasing. But you know what? As soon as I hit 40, I feel like I was just always trying to get a nut. So it's been good, and it's going great. So we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you updated.
And I guess it's a good question to maybe ponder. If you were to speak to your younger gay self, what would you say? And if I was to speak to my younger gay self, I think I would say, relaxed on the anxiety. As my husband always tells me, breathe. As he likes to say, breathe. And I still need help on that. But I am starting, thanks to our sometimes co-host here, Sebastian Lacaze, and I'm going to put where you can get his morning meditations that help me breathe and set a tone for the day, which I think is really important. But I would tell my younger self that breathe a little bit more, and you've got this. What would you tell your younger self?
Well, Mother Roo, let me tell you.
Mama Roo.
Well, Mama Roo. I would tell little Cody that he's beautiful, and just realize that you're beautiful, honey, and you know who you
We should have put
are.
our pictures up from when we were.
Oh my God, can you imagine? That
I
would be
know.
fantastic. And you know who you are, baby. So just step into who you are and who you want to be in there, and just don't be afraid. Do it unabashedly. So yeah, that's what I would tell my younger self.
It really is a great question to ask gay men. A great question for anybody. If you're ever at a party or a birthday party, I think it's a fun one to ask the group because it's reflective and you can just really kind of think about it. But for gay men, I think a lot of us had tumultuous at times or blocks. And I mean, look at heated rivalry. I mean, it would be interesting to down the road, those characters to ask them what would they tell, because they're living in such, times where they just feel like, one of them's Russian and he can't talk to his father and and the whole family and the brother situation. And then another one has this, nobody in hockey is out and he has contracts pay like him a lot of money, and there's
an overbearing mother.
Although she turns out okay in the end.
No, she's super sweet, but the pressure of not knowing, and like being able to guess, like all you have is your imagination when it comes to how they're going to react. And she's a down ass bitch, so I'm here for it.
I love it.
Down ass bitch.
We want to know how you feel. What age are you at, and how are you feeling about aging? Thanks for you guys listening to tonight. But let's keep this conversation going because it stemmed from my birthday, always a reflective time. But we as gay men, I think, all should take those times to reflect on. We have so much to offer. We are different stages of our lives of either having fun, relationships, combining all of that together. Our health is very specific and unique to us. And I just think let's keep the conversation going on our Tags Patreon community and go to patreon.com/tags podcast. We'll keep this going on all week and maybe read some more comments. This episode is really about getting clearer about who we are, what we need, and how we want to connect as we get older. And that's exactly why I created Connect and Confidence, my new app. It's a space for LGBTQ plus people who are done chasing validation and ready to build real confidence from the inside out. Whether it's dating with intention, strengthening self-worth, or creating deeper connections in sex, relationships, and life. Aging doesn't mean losing your spark. It means learning how to use it with purpose. You can explore, connect, and come.
Hi, I'm Andrew Yang. You may remember me as being the guy who wanted to get money into the hands of millions of Americans. Well, I'm still at it, and I'm now the founder of Noble Mobile, the first carrier that pays you to use your phone less. With Noble, you get unlimited talk, text, and 5G data on the T-Mobile network, and you can earn up to $20 cash back a month for getting off your phone. Try it for just $10 a month. Go to noblemobile.com/yang10. That's noblemobile.com and use my code YANG10 to get paid to use your phone less.
Hi friends, we are Dads and Daddies, a podcast about the lives and times of adult gay men in the here and now. I'm Brian Ruben Sowers, a married dad of 2.
And I am Judson Morrow, a resident daddy. Join us for frank conversations and personal stories of sex, love, relationships, parenthood, daddyhood, addiction, and so much more.
Find us on Instagram at Dads and Daddies Pod and listen to new episodes every Tuesday on all major platforms.
Confidence anytime at your own pace and start choosing connection that actually feels good. Go to studio.com/SteveV/connect. But was there something that came in right now that you wanted to
Doug
read?
He says, I think it would tell my younger self not to date that one boy in college because he turns out to be so full of himself. And I have a whole list
of those college moments.
So thank you, Doug. Yes, let's write letters.
What's interesting about those early college? We could probably all have a heated rivalry series when you look at it because it's drama It's probably some of the hottest moments that you can imagine. There was extreme anxiety, but then there was the drama end of it too. And we gays know how to have those moments for sure. We could probably, if we were to get down to pen and paper, write down our own version of a story that would just be fun to watch, but not without much strife on ourselves, but could be very cathartic in many ways too. So I hear you, Doug, and thank you for sharing. Well, Adrian, let's keep these going.
Let's go. I love this.
I would tell Adrian says, watching us live tonight on a Wednesday night, I would tell my younger gay self, own your truth and don't let what others say get to you. Oh my God.
Beautiful.
Such a big one. When I used to care so much. I mean, you still care what people think on a certain level, and there's a healthy dose of that. And then there is, you're so timid and shy. And I used to have a quiver in my throat when I was around straight guys having conversations, and I couldn't get rid of it. It was just, I always were worried they're going to think I'm gay. They're going to notice that I'm gay. They're going to say this, and then what's going to happen? And all of that was churning in my brain, but not allowing me to just be present and authentic. And now it's like, honey,
really,
here I am. The floodgates are open. You take it or leave it. Not without my 30s and 40s, where then I think I went the other extreme for a period, where then I was like, oh, now you're going to hear from me. And I was always the one at the dinner party, a little bit more outspoken and causing a little bit of chaos. And now I've somehow balanced it all out. And they do say Capricorns, they say, quote unquote, that Capricorns are like a fine wine. And I do love wine that we get better and better with age. So we balance out. The tannins are a little lighter. We're ready to drink and consume. So yeah, that's me, like a fine red wine. That's what I'm telling myself. We're going with that.
Figure out what kind of liquor I am as a Cancer.
Keep those conversations.
Probably malt liquor.
Yes, keep them coming. We'll read them throughout the show, or of course, we'll read them throughout the week because we've got more shows coming your way. But now it's time to get into hot topics, and I couldn't remember if we talked about this initial one, but it's easy to go over. There was a Maryland man during the holidays that decided to go grocery shopping, and a woman who decided to verbally attack him based on the way he was dressed. She basically said that get your gay ass out of here. What are you wearing? Why are you showing up like this? Correct? And verbally,
and was physically assaulting him too.
She was coming at him and pushing her way as he's simply trying to buy his groceries in this Alexandria, Virginia grocery store, and the person was basically attacked. Right? It was a hate crime anyway. And she ultimately left, and she did assault him in many ways. She has been caught, and this is where it's because he was filming it and put it on TikTok and said, if you see this woman, he actually talk about not letting it equal and getting, I almost would have pushed back in many ways. If someone's like pushing my cart and coming at me and she said, get out of here, I would almost push my cart at her, which would probably escalate the situation. I don't know. But I think I would do that today, actually. Yeah. 40s, 50s, or whatever. Or like,
She might have got slapped if she was doing that to me, because she was very aggressive, and I'm not here for. So I can't take any of that, and I don't think that that's okay what she did. She was basically just jealous of him because I saw a picture of him.
It was on Christmas Day too.
His ass was so juicy and fat. It was just, I don't want to sexualize him because this is a hate crime, and I want to, be empathetic towards him. But if he needs somebody to, rub on him a little bit, can he call me, please? Because he was very beautiful. But he wasn't dressed sexually. He had on sweats. It was just the way that his body was shaped. She
said things like, "Boy, get out of here with your gay ass." The post was viewed more than 6 million times. She said, I'm sick of this gay shit, bro, and put on some clothes, she told him.
He had on all the clothes, by the way.
Well, ultimately, by putting that out there, January 8th, because people said, if you see this woman, because she fled the scene, and turns out she was caught on January 8th, arrested, did not have registration for her car, was arrested for assault and a few other charges too. So I bet she's karma. This is a true case of karma. And if you watch the video, I will post this on our Tags Patreon community, because it's really unnerving when you watch how she came after him. And it will bring up, if you've ever felt homophobia at all, it will bring up all those emotions that you maybe felt in the past, and you want to slap her. And right?
Yeah, I'm just glad that she was charged, and that there's been repercussions for her harassing a gay man.
Yeah, but she's been Adrienne, watching us live, said, "I'm sorry I saw that video. This is just another case of dumb people who are miserable without hesitation. She would have been scalped if she did this to me. Enough is enough." Bryce says, "Agreed. I would have gotten her life together." Yeah, I mean, it's just good to know that karma does come around, and recording things people on the internet, the sleuths are out there, and she is now where she belongs. So take that. In other news, Matt Rogers of La Cochoristas, you guys know Matt Rogers. He is co-host with Bo and Yang on the podcast I just mentioned, and they talk about everything. They've been getting a lot of bad press on a recent episode when they were talking about Democratic U.S. Rep Jasmine Crockett, who's running for her state Senate seat in Texas. So she's a current U.S. Rep, Jasmine Crockett, running for state Senate in Texas. And they decided to tackle that. Well, Matt did, at least, sharing his feelings about the Texas Democratic Rep. She is Black. That is important to mention. If you haven't seen her on news, I've seen her talk about things. And he basically says, he basically said, do not give your money to her. She doesn't have a chance of winning. She's doing this all for appearances, I think what he said. Do not endorse her. Do not give your money to her. And it did not go over well, did it, Cody?
Oh my God. I've been trying to hold in all my responses, because for me, this is wild. I can't believe that Matt Rogers would say something like this and have it go. He had so many opportunities.
I think he's gotten a little too, and it's awful to say that about gay men, like you're getting too comfortable. But here's why I say that. I say that because it would be different if they were a political podcast. It would be different if they lived in the state of Texas, which neither one of them do. Jasmine Crockett has been getting a lot of press. She's been on a lot of, shows talking about running for U.S. Senate and why she wants to. And she's been very outspoken. And I think she has I love the moment when she told Margaret Taylor Greene, called her a bleached blonde. I don't have the full quote, but it was brilliant.
Head body bitch.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Oh, maybe
she can stand up for herself.
Maybe I added that.
It would be as almost we started to endorse or talk about. You can talk about a candidate without telling somebody, do not give your money to that candidate.
Yep.
But I think where it drew the line was a white man telling that has nothing to do with politics and say, do not vote for this woman, do not give your money to them, to a Black candidate, any candidate really. But I don't know. What do you say to this?
Yeah, and the thing for me, he had so many this is pre-recorded. They had so many opportunities to take this out. Bo and Yang had so many opportunities to defend a minority, because gay people, I don't know if Matt Rogers knows, but he's a minority. But this, for me, it only highlights how prevalent racism is in the gay community, because I've seen the discourse around how white good men consistently choose whiteness or in the comfort of white supremacy over our collective struggles as marginalized people. And for me, this is only really highlights it, because he had, like I said, every opportunity to talk highly about her or to even stay out of the conversation altogether. And he chose to highlight someone that he deems as more valuable and more able to win based on the demographic, not based on their knowledge, not based on who's being more outspoken and about the issues that we're dealing with right now. He just spoke highly of Tallarico just because he's a white man and a white man only. So
one of the things that he said was, quote, anytime a politician is making it about themselves, I'm already done. Don't waste your money sending to Jasmine Crockett. Do not do it. And Bowen said, I must agree. Rogers added that he believed Crockett, who represents Texas' 30th congressional district since 2023, was too, quote unquote, well-defined to win the election.
What the hell does that mean?
What does that even mean? Yeah, I feel like you don't know what you're talking about. And part of being a politician is getting your name out there. You have to do this. And it just did not sit well with so many people, also because she's Black and a white man's commenting on that. But anybody really, it's just, we have people, of course, thanks to Adrian and Bryce, reminding us of Jasmine Crockett when she talked about Marjorie Taylor Greene. The quote was, bleach, blonde, bad built, butch body. And it was brilliant, right?
Yeah, it's so good. She's so smart. But I think that this should be a wake-up call to everyone out there to look at your own privilege, because I benefit from white supremacy. I'm a light-skinned person, so I definitely have more privileges or society views me as quote unquote better than more dark-skinned people. So everybody has privilege. This should be a wake-up call to not punch down on people and to really see where you land and how you can mitigate your effect on white supremacy in the system.
Yeah, and just to give you the update, both Matt and Bowen took himself off of social media because of all the commentary. He just silenced it all, but came back and said he will do better and realized what this caused. Matt said my phrasing wasn't right.
Not an apology.
And didn't really say a whole much more, I don't believe, Nope. He said, I hear the responses and I'm taking every bit of it to heart, I promise. Transparency and candor matter to me, especially on the podcast. I'm a very progressive person who cares deeply about winning these elections, but my phrasing was not right. I will be more thoughtful. I really do promise. I have great respect and admiration for Representative Crockett, and I regret that my words suggested otherwise. I just want us to win, and I will be better at finding ways to help.
That just sounds to me like he believes what he said still, and yeah.
Let us know how you feel on that. I think we have time for one more hot topic. Well, we all know Joel Kim Booster, and he married John Michael Sudsina after being together for 4 years. They did it in San Francisco. If you remember last year, they got engaged, and they did it in San Francisco at I believe it was the Exploratorium, in San Francisco. A really cool place to get married. And what I loved about it was you sent me the clip, and it was a clip of the two of them as a couple from Once in My Life together. And I'm like, child, I was ahead of that when not only did I just put that on a post, the song by Stevie Wonder, Cody Marie sang that at my wedding. And we did that before you. Snaps on my part. But
it was just so cute to me.
Them.
It was just like it lined up.
Cute, I was like, I liked my wedding better, but that's going to be my shade. But
but it was totally fine. Congratulations to them.
Matt Rogers was also at that wedding, so if it helps my cause out,
Matt and Bowen were
also at that wedding.
We're not talking about those queens anymore. Congratulations to Joel Kim and his beautiful husband. I hear they're open. Give your boy a call.
And we have to shout out the one and only Wanda Sykes, because recently did you guys all watch the Golden Globes? They were pretty good, I thought. I really liked them. And Wanda Sykes did not take an opportunity to not only wear a lapel pin that said "Be Good," based on what happened to Renee Good when she lost her life, sadly. But she said when she announced the winner to Best Comedy Show, essentially, and she had a lot to say about each candidate. The one that won that wasn't there was Ricky Gervais. And if you know anything about Ricky Gervais on his special, I used to really be a fan of his, but in his last several specials, he's talked about negatively about the trans community. And she said, out of all of the candidates that were nominated, she says, I hope Ricky Gervais wins because I will accept his award and I will be thanking God and the trans community on his behalf. Well, lo and behold, Ricky Gervais did win the category, and she did just what she said she would do. And I thought, if you watched it live, I was snapping. I was like, brilliant, right? It's like you almost wanted him to win.
Yeah.
Even though, he spoke such ill of the trans community. It's like, stop again, like you said before, punching down on a very underrepresented small percentage of the people in the world, and take that to who's the other comedian that does that all the time too?
Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle, who continues to win awards as well.
That's another thing. Back to Matt Rogers. If we can call out Ricky Gervais, Dave Chappelle, Snoop Dogg, then we should be able to call out this motherfucker too. All right.
Which we have in the past, right? We've talked about it on the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So like it's all even. We're critical if people are not supporting our community. That's it.
Absolutely. Keep these conversations going. We love it. And it's time to get into advice. We are always here for you. We will give our handles at the end of the show, or you can go to the website, tagspodcast.com, our Tags Patreon community, and ask us for sex and relationship advice. We're here for you in 2026, but this one came from Reddit when they wrote, am I using sex as a means to an end? I have a couple relationship experiences, and all of them started as hookups, they wrote. Then, once I securely attach to them, I lose interest in sex. I still find them sexually attractive and get turned on by them, but I never get motivated to follow through to the end with sex. It hit me that I might not be the most sexual person, but I use sex to initially attract a partner or as a cure for loneliness. As soon as I have a partner and the loneliness is gone, I lose interest in sex. And they were wondering if anybody else had that experience. They also wanted people to know another factor is that so far, all of their partners consider themselves as exclusive tops. While I realistically consider myself a versatile bottom based on my sexual history, I probably would be more verse if I didn't attract tops. I do enjoy bottoming. The amount of work it takes a lot of time. There is actually, we've talked about it before, Cody, of people that they're only attracted to people as long as they can get them. And once they are in the relationship, they lose all sexual interest. And it's like an actual psychological thing that if you wanted to work on that, I would actually see a sex therapist for something like that. And this sort of sounds like that. And we're certainly not diagnosing people here, but it would be something.
Saying go see a therapist.
We're saying go see a therapist is really our main thing. But because what are your thoughts? That would be really my advice on that one, because it sounds like a pattern.
Yeah, definitely. And it's so specific. I think that they definitely should go see a therapist, because it could be that, but also I feel like there is a lot of this person relating to bottoming as work, because he said in the very last sentence that it takes a lot for him to actually bottom. So I think that when you relate to sex as work, then it takes that much more for you to want to get into it. So it could be a couple different things. Like we were saying before, go see a therapist. We're not therapists. We're not going to diagnose you. We're not going to give you advice. Going to give you advice that you should probably take. You should probably go see a therapist.
Yeah, it's just once they obtain the relationship with this person that they think they use their sexuality to get, they then lose interest in sex.
Yeah.
He did add that part at the end, and maybe that could be something to look at.
It's probably
because
both,
it's so
honestly.
Yeah, it could be both, and something to look at, but probably a really good thing that they put this out there. I think once you put something on paper, or in this case, Reddit, you can then, you're putting it out there in the universe that you want the help to look at yourself. And that needs to be commended on that portion of it, because it sounds like they don't want this pattern to continue.
Yeah, I can see that, because not only is he kind of doing harm to himself, he's also doing harm to the other person, because as someone who went through kind of like being with someone with a different like sexual desire than me, to be rejected so often, to be rejected often it does a number on your self-esteem. So I understand where he's coming from, but I also know that for his partners, this could be something that could be way heavy on there.
Absolutely. Let us know what you think on that one. We have another one from Reddit where it's entitled "A Pair of Tops Struggling with Sex." Okay. Both in our late 30s, both tops, dating for 4 years, have been in monogamy. Sex wasn't so much of an issue at the beginning, mostly siding. Remember, we've talked about siding, where it's not penetration, and I would try bottoming even though it isn't my cup of tea. I communicated my desire to top him because that's what I enjoy in bed. It's not working though. It feels like a sacrifice every time we try to have sex, and I can tell he doesn't enjoy it. I'm not happy with sex life at the moment. I propose opening up the relationship sexually to avoid frustration. With lots of communication and rules, he doesn't want it. I'm not sure what to do because I love this man, but the sexual frustration is really affecting me. Mismatched libido, also a problem, as you can tell. I think it wouldn't be much if we're a match sexually, but that obviously plays a big role in it. We love receiving orals, but not giving, for example, so it's not just penetration. That's interesting to me. Again, I feel like seeing a sex therapist because it's so like this person loves that person.
Yeah.
But I do feel that you should be able to talk to your partner and find those moments. And like something that we do is we do take time out to check in with each other in my relationship to see how we're doing. And that could be everything that's going on, including sex. And I think you have to do that. You probably shouldn't feel like you have to go to Reddit. You should be able to talk to your partner about what's going on. And it sounds like they do have something good, but they're not realizing they're not hearing each other. What do you say to this?
Yeah, definitely go see a sex therapist. While I do agree with you that he should be able to go to his partner about this, I want to say that Reddit is probably a safer sounding board first, so he can kind of get his thoughts together, which I think is very healthy. Because maybe he doesn't even know exactly how he's feeling about this. So maybe bouncing ideas off of somebody else is a good idea. I think with this, he should definitely see it. My official recommendation is that they go see a sex therapist so that they can work things out. But for me personally, I would probably give it up. I would have given up a long time ago before I even caught feelings, because this sounds like it's too much work. Like the last one, it was like, oh, it's going to be work in order to get through it. And but this one it's man, it would be a struggle for me.
Well, here's the thing. It's entitled "A Pair of Tops."
Yeah.
They are, to your point, younger, if you will, since we're talking about age, it's the birthday episode, both in our late 30s. That's young to me. So maybe they should move on. And the next line was both tops dating for 4 years. You notice that he didn't say in a relationship for 4 years. Both tops dating for 4 years. Now, maybe that was just a play on words or how it was. They've said they've been monogamous, but I do think, two tops don't make a right at times. There are things
or
you
a
can
left.
do or a left or and so
or in and out or up and down.
If you're that strict with being one position, two tops probably don't make it right, and they probably are frustrated internally. The other one's probably struggling. I do think that they should have a conversation, whether it's with a therapist or just together, and find out, hey, what's going on here? Is this salvageable in any way, shape, or form? And then go from there. They are so young. I feel, of course, that might sound patronizing to them, but I do think they could, run and find somebody that's a little bit more compatible and be a lot more happier.
Yeah, if they're willing to open it up, then I feel like they have a lot of options. But if they're not, then girl.
Yeah, they did say monogamy is the third sentence. So, but I do think they just have to have this conversation. So, yeah. Oh my goodness, we could do this all night. Everybody, thanks for weighing in. Let's continue the conversation over on our Tags Patreon community. We love to hear from you, and we will, because there was a lot of hot topics, and aging is such a particular thing for our community. So go to patreon.com/Tags Podcast. You can always follow my co-host, Cody Maurice Dalgett, and be sure and get his new EP. It's on Spotify, it's on YouTube Music, it's on Apple Music. Go get it. It's called Thing of Beauty. It's his brand new EP, and it really is a thing of beauty. I love it so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Follow him on the gram at Mr. Maurice or on Blue Sky. Follow me on the gram. I am _Steve V. And we are back with new shows all next week. And check out our social media because we're continuing the conversation. And in the meantime, continue having hot gay sex. Lovely. It's my birthday song.
Happy birthday song.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.
Hi friends, we are Dads and Daddies, a podcast about the lives and times of adult gay men in the here and now. I'm Brian Ruben Sowers, a married dad of 2.
And I am Judson Morrow, a resident daddy. Join us for frank conversations and personal stories of sex, love, relationships, parenthood, daddyhood, addiction, and so much more.
Find us on Instagram at Dads and Daddies Pod and listen to new episodes every Tuesday on all major platforms.